Queer Eye just gave us its most important episode yet. When Queer Eye for the Straight Guy was rebooted on Netflix earlier this year, the decision was taken to omit the ... for the straight guy from the show's title, in order to broaden the scope of the revamped series, and to scupper the stereotype, partly promulgated by the original series, of all gay men being genetically blessed with grooming superpowers. But while the first 8 episodes, released to the streaming service in February, received a rapturous reception, with fans responding warmly to the feel-good tone and engaging personalities of the new Fab Five, the new Queer Eye didn't take all that much advantage of its ability to explore more diverse stories. Until now. As early as March, the show's design expert Bobby Burke was already promising more diversity in future episodes, with the cast confirming in May that Season 2 would feature the show's first trans subject. Speaking to Digital Spy ahead of 8 new episodes launching on Netflix, food and wine expert Tony Porolsky again emphasized how this Queer Eye outing will have a different emphasis. "Everybody needs our help, not just straight white dudes," he said. "So we've expanded on that." Episode 5 of the new season sees the Fab Five, Burke, Porolsky, plus fashion expert Dan France, culture expert Karamo Brown and grooming expert Jonathan Van Ness, meet Skylar, a trans man who reveals that committing to his true self drove a wedge between him and his family. "For us to have a culturally relevant conversation about the trans experience is something that 2 years ago I don't think you would have seen on television," said Brown. "I certainly don't think you would have seen it done in the very positive and real way." As the episode unfolds, while all of the Fab Five help to give Skylar a new lease of life, it's arguably Brown who has the biggest impact, encouraging and accompanying Skylar when he visits the DMV to have the gender marker on his driving license changed. Though it's a seemingly small amendment, it means an awful lot to Skylar, who'd already been turned away once, with no surgery letter to hand. He was told to come back when he was complete. "It's all politicized right now," said Brown. "It's all about bathrooms, in the States and overseas. And for us to talk about him getting his gender marker changed on his license, something we can all understand and have experienced since we were 15. I think it's going to humanize this in a way that is really going to push the conversation in a new direction. Hopefully in this next political round, people are not going to be able to talk about the trans experience or the LGBT experience in the same way, because now they've had this to bridge the gap for them." The first season of Queer Eye provoked a great deal of discussion on social media, with the 3rd episode in particular stirring up some controversy. On their way to makeover NASCAR-loving cop Corey, the Fab Five were seen being pulled over by a patrol officer. It turned out to be a prank organized by Corey's cop friends, but with Brown in France, a British-born Muslim with Pakistani parents, in particular clearly unnerved by the experience. It was hotly debated by viewers as to whether the joke was appropriate. Brown thinks that Skylar's episode will likewise change perspectives. "We get messages from people all the time saying, 'Oh my gosh, now I understand what it feels like. I have a little bit more empathy for my friends of color.' I think the same thing's going to happen when they see Skylar." In the episode's uncompromising opening sequence, the Fab Five sit in stunned silence as they watch footage of Skylar's top surgery - a procedure which typically includes a bilateral mastectomy and male chest reconstruction. It's not only eye-opening but a dramatic departure from the usual Queer Eye opening, which typically features the five exchanging quips in their car. "That honestly is how our day started out," revealed Burke. "Normally we would meet outside, we'd get in the car and we'd go. But that day, the producers told us, everyone needs to come to the loft, and we all sat down on the sofa, and then all of a sudden the television comes on." It's one of a few standout sequences, along with a moment that sees France, who, by his own admission, lacked knowledge of the trans experience, share an emotional exchange with Skylar about his past and future. Whether it's gay stereotypes, racial profiling, or misunderstandings surrounding the trans experience, Queer Eye is now aiming to dismantle misconceptions wherever the Fab Five go. "I have many trans friends," said Brown. "But then, here's another gay man who has none," And I think it's so powerful to see that we don't all have the same experience, and it's okay wherever you are on that spectrum. I think the beauty of our show is that we represent so many versions of gay men, echoed France. The original Queer Eye, as much as I love it, was only able to push one version, which is the stereotype. I think we are quashing some very common misconceptions. You really see us as individuals, concluded Burke, and not as gay stereotypes. Queer Eye Season 2 is out now on Netflix. Want up-to-the-minute entertainment and tech news? Just hit like on our Digital Spy Facebook page and follow on our @DigitalSpy Twitter account and you're all set.